Disclaimer. Mercy Johnson Okojia TV. Life. They say it is not a bed of roses, and truly it isn't. Because sometimes you water a garden with your tears, your prayers, your sacrifices, and still the rose grows thorns sharp enough to pierce your soul. Still, it withers without warning. This is the story of Gloria, a woman who prayed until her knees forgot softness, a woman who fasted until hunger became her second skin, yet ended up divorced, broken, and lost. But this is not just her story. This is a story about family, about pain, about control and freedom, and what happens when glory finally comes. Gloria did not arrive quietly. She came into her brother Mario's home like a storm wrapped in scriptures, a woman carrying not just luggage, but years of pain, bitterness, and unresolved wounds. Mario welcomed her with open arms. After all, she was not just his sister. She was the woman who raised him when life became cruel, the one who stood in the gap when their parents died. To him, she wasn't just family. She was history. But to Anita, his wife, and Snow, their teenage daughter, Gloria quickly became something else entirely, a disruption. At first, it seemed harmless, a comment here, a correction there. Cover your hair before entering the kitchen. Why is the food like this? Why is that girl dressed like this? Little things. But little things, when repeated daily, become heavy. And Gloria did not just speak, she imposed. She didn't enter rooms, she took over them. Snow, or Adora as her aunt insisted on calling her, was everything Gloria was not. Confident, expressive, bold, a social media girl, a dancer, a voice, a light. But to Gloria, she was everything wrong with the modern world. Too free, too exposed, too uncontrolled. And slowly, the house that once echoed with laughter began to shrink under Gloria's presence. Snow started walking on eggshells, Anita began swallowing words, and Mario stood in the middle, torn between the past and the present. The breaking point didn't arrive all at once. It came in moments, like when Gloria stormed into Snow's lesson and wrapped her up, accusing her of indecency in front of her teacher, or when she criticized Anita's dressing, calling her a disgrace in her own home, or when she turned a simple morning into a forced prayer crusade, ringing bells and shouting as though silence itself was a sin. But the moment that shattered everything was when she raised her hand. Not just on Snow, but on her friends, too, because they were dancing. Dancing! That day, something broke in Anita. Not anger, not frustration, something deeper. A mother's limit. "I have never laid hands on my child," she said, her voice trembling with restrained fire. "Who does she think she is?" Mario tried to calm things down, tried to reason, tried to hold everything together, but some storms cannot be managed. They must be faced. And so the question came, the question that many families avoid. Who matters more? Your past or your present? Your sister or your wife and child? Mario was stuck because Gloria was not just a problem, she was a wounded soul. A woman whose marriage had collapsed not just because of her husband, but because of the wall she built around her own heart. She had stopped feeling, stopped connecting, stopped loving even herself. And in that emptiness, she became hard, controlling, sharp, because sometimes pain doesn't cry, it commands. But healing began in the most unexpected way, not through shouting and not through arguments, but through a child. Snow, the same girl Gloria tried to silence, became the one who finally reached her. One conversation, one honest moment, one human connection. Snow didn't argue. She didn't fight back. She simply said, "You have us." And for the first time, Gloria broke, not in anger, but in truth. She admitted it. She was afraid of being seen, afraid of being unloved, afraid of being nothing. So she built walls and called it strength. That was the turning point, because you cannot heal what you refuse to name, and Gloria finally named it, her pain. Mario and Anita made a decision not to throw her out, not to tolerate her behavior either, but to help her. Real help, not just prayers shouted into the air, but therapy, counseling, healing from within. And something else happened too. Mario and Anita looked inward. They realized something uncomfortable. In trying to give Snow freedom, they had removed structure. In trying to avoid the pain they grew up with, they overcorrected. And maybe, just maybe, Gloria wasn't completely wrong. So they found balance, freedom with guidance, expression with purpose, confidence with grounding. Because raising a child is not about control, and it's not about total freedom either. It's about direction. And Gloria? She began her journey. Slowly, painfully, but truthfully. She faced her past, faced her fears, faced the marriage she thought was beyond repair. And when the opportunity came, her husband offered a condition: change and seek help. For the first time, she didn't argue, she didn't deflect, she didn't blame. She chose to try. Because healing doesn't begin with certainty, it begins with a decision. When glory comes, it doesn't come with noise. It doesn't arrive with perfection. It comes quietly, in moments of truth, in choices to grow, in the courage to face yourself. Gloria thought she had lost everything: her marriage, her identity, her worth. But what she didn't realize was that she was standing at the beginning of something new. Because sometimes, before glory comes, life will break you, strip you, humble you, expose every hidden wound, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. And in the end, this was not just Gloria's story. It was a story about all of them, a family that almost fell apart but chose understanding over judgment, healing over pride, love over control. So if there's one thing to take from this story, it's this: not every difficult person is evil. Some are just hurting, and sometimes what looks like madness is just pain finally speaking. If this story touched you, moved you, or made you reflect, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more powerful, emotional Nollywood stories like this. Because here, we don't just tell stories, we feel them. And until next time, remember, even in the darkest moments, glory can still come.